My capstone proposal is to build an innovative video game utilizing RPG Maker. So, have a brief overview of myself. I'm Nolan Ellis. I'm a 4-year I'm pursuing a bachelor's degree. I'm a transfer from Windward Community College, but that's 2 years there, 2 years here. My high school is Kalaheo High School. My current degree is creative media with a concentration in video game design and development. So, the executive summary to provide a brief overview of the whole project here will be just the thesis statement, objective, plans, significance. The thesis statement, uh, RPG Maker is an excellent toolkit that makes the production of indie games more accessible for newcomers to the industry. And while the software is built for a specific style of game, a competent developer can innovate using it and produce a truly unique title. It doesn't have to be just the one style of game that it's designed for. The objective for this project, I will be building a game using the RPG Maker toolkit that innovates and offers a unique form of gameplay and story, etc. Kind of like how Lisa the Painful and Undertale take existing formulas and innovate to create novel experiences through creative new approaches to gameplay elements. The plans for the project will involve 5 stages: the world, characters, combat system, progression system, and story. These are all the unique aspects. First off, the world takes place in a so-called war ecosystem where a number of AIs have basically wiped out humanity, like the plot of Terminator. And now the world is reduced to a wasteland. It's post-apocalypse. So the whole story of the game will take place within one of the destroyed cities from that, like a relic of the time and of time from the past. The characters, which the little animated one there is actually the main character that I have. He's the only major piece of concept art that I have so far. Uh, the playable characters, instead of being humans, are actually sentient robots who are built for specific purposes, and they have their own free will and are able to act on their own, which is uh, kind of a unique departure from a lot of RPG Maker games, which star human and otherwise protagonists. The combat system is pretty unique. The main inspiration for it was the Super Robot Wars series. The idea is rather than having sort of different sides just fighting side by side next to each other without any kind of like dynamic system, instead, what will actually matter here is the placement of units throughout a grid system. And now you'll have tactical gameplay where uh, the position of your units will matter just as much as what actions they take, which is a unique departure that I personally haven't seen any RPG Maker game attempt, even though there's a lot of ripe ground for this. The progression system, the way that most RPG Maker games will tend to work with their progression is they'll just have characters level up over time if they gain enough experience points. What I wanted to do was subvert that system and instead have it be completely item based, where your character has to gain better equipment, and that's the only way that they can improve and get stronger, which then will further incentivize exploration to find that better equipment. The story, it will involve having the main character discovering a human child who he opts to take care of, and he wants to find a way to escape to the one place that has been untouched by the war ecosystem, a place where humans will be safe. And he'll then get all of his additional friends, all the additional party members who will join him on that journey. So the significance and why I'm undertaking this project, why it matters, is because the game industry at the highest levels, at the AAA level, it's largely based around repeating successful formulas, making the 15th Call of Duty game, the 75th Fallout game, et cetera, et cetera. And it gets really boring, gets very stale, and a lot of people want new innovation. They want new styles of gameplay. So what indie creators can do is they can take those kinds of risks that larger developers can't. So by being able to innovate, we're able to add new experiences that can overall uh, give new life and overall just be a very healthy addition to the video games industry. The target audience for this game, it's going to include, in descending order of importance, first off, video game players. If you don't play video games, then this probably isn't important to you. RPG players, this appeals to a specific demographic within gamers. The ages are generally going to be around 16 to 22. There's a little bit of, attenuation there. Of course, you might be a little older, a little younger, and this still appeals to you. You'll be generally middle class, and mostly this is going to appeal to Americans, largely because it's set within America and takes place in English. I mean, the game is in English. Uh, the process, my plan for how to undertake this project, how to follow through with it, is during the break, I'll be completing a game design document, which will then be the framework for how the game will expand, how the game will uh, just the framework for how to start building everything, as well as looking up tutorials and getting myself familiarized with all of the tools such as RPG Maker, MV, and a Separate, which I will be using to create all of the assets for the game and build all of its systems. For weeks 1 through 4 of the capstone process, I'll be setting up the engine and getting the baseline mechanics and systems all working properly as they should. Weeks 5 through 8, I'll focus on implementing the gameplay mechanics and having them be functional as they should. 9 through 12, I'll be focusing highly on level design and adding something to actually utilize those gameplay mechanics with. And weeks 13 through 15, it'll be focused on polishing, removing bugs, and playtesting to make sure it all works properly. Uh, and yeah, my expected deliverable, I will have at least 4 playable characters. I'll have at least 2 missions with exploration and combat. I'm giving myself a little bit of leeway there because I don't know how easy or difficult adding those 2 things will be. If it's easy to make missions, then I can expect to have more. If it's easy to make characters, I can expect to have more. If it is difficult, then I should at least be able to deliver those. We'll have the grid-based tactical combat system. That is the main draw for the game. It has to be implemented. And it'll have to have the functional item-based upgrade system, since that's also one of the main draws. That's the one of the defining aspects of how the game works. And I will expect to also have done enough work to replace all of the default assets for the game with all of my own UI, sprites, etc. That's all I have for my presentation. So, are there any questions?